Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/Surviving Infidelity, where OP received a standing ovation. Yep, he definitely received a lot of claps. Let's begin. Should I leave my wife over a past affair that I can't get over? Posted by Reddit user Disastrous Royal.
I got cheated on by my wayward wife about 5 years ago in 2018 and gave me chlamydia. We actually got married in March of that year so that she could stay in the US. She's Nigerian. At this point, we were in a long-distance relationship due to her living with her parents in Texas and I in Alabama. After we got married, I moved to Indiana for a new job. We discussed over the phone many times about completing the immigration paperwork so that we could get her green card. I was hopeful for the future and told most of my acquaintances that I was married. She, being Nigerian, didn't see it the same way due to her culture. She knew we were in it for the long haul, but she didn't really tell anyone, even her parents. About 3 months after I started my new job one morning, she told me how she was unsure of our relationship and asked about an open relationship. I said no, and that wasn't something I was interested in, despite there being many beautiful women at my job. She seemed dejected and told that she had a close call at her friend's house. Mind you, this was someone I never met or heard of. She said she met him at a Society of Women's Engineer conference the year before, and they became friends ever since. She told her she went to this guy's house to watch a movie, and he started acting touchy-feely, and that she felt uncomfortable and left. I was obviously upset, but I was proud that she told me, and I thought that was it. She later confessed that wasn't actually what happened and that she was ashamed of the truth. She actually slept with him, and like an idiot I asked for all of the details, very angrily. I decided not to break up but went through several anxiety and panic attacks. She promised never to do it again and was willing to do everything for us to stay together. When she came and visited for a week, a couple of weeks later, we reconciled and had sex. Unfortunately, that was a big mistake on my part. After she left, I tested positive for chlamydia after days of testicular pain. I was livid and demanded to know how can I get chlamydia if she used protection. She swore that he used the condom perfectly, so it was impossible. She then said that it might have slipped out or broke, but I reminded her that she told me that she took the condom off him. At this point, I was about done with life. She went to the clinic back in Texas and found out that she had oral chlamydia, despite her never having oral sex with the guy. Maybe I gave it to her after she gave it to me. We both got treatment, and I thought that was the end of it. After a year of separation, she moved in with me in Indiana after finding a good job here. 4 years go by and we eventually get a house. She gets her green card, and it's almost time for her to apply for citizenship. At this point, we are both working as high-level engineers, making about 6 figures each. For me, however, I still never got over the fact that it didn't make any sense that she gave me chlamydia if she used protection with no oral. I brought this up after so many years, and she can't explain how it was possible. She denies that the condom broke or that she gave oral. I told her that if she didn't tell me the truth, I was ending the marriage. She said if that is what I have to do, then do it. I really want to get past this, but I don't think I can. It doesn't help that she might get deported if we divorce, so I don't want to make any rash decisions. If you can make this work, please, some advice is needed. Thanks. Edit with small update. I should have mentioned this in the story to avoid confusion. But we had a wedding ceremony in 2021 to have the official wedding. This pleased each of our parents. They still have no knowledge of the actual court marriage date in 2018. Her parents are very traditional and were very wary of their daughter marrying a non-Igbo person from their village, even though one of her sisters married an American as well. They took a liking to me due to me being interested in her culture. Her father is a wealthy man who worked as a petroleum engineer in the US in the 72nds and now owns some hotels in Nigeria. He is very strict, and she is terrified of not meeting his standards. He doesn't know about the cheating. If he believes that she used me for a green card, he would disown her in a hot minute. Also, our relationship after she moved in with me has been great. Another thing I didn't mention was that we met in university, and we were both engineering students who ended up in the same classes. That's when we got to know each other. When we moved to Indiana, we were no longer in a long-distance relationship, so we became much closer. We saved up enough money to buy a house and to have a decent-sized wedding. Our careers have been successful and we have been advancing rapidly. She is a homebody, so she doesn't like to go out much. I tried to help her meet new friends, but she preferred his own company. That combined with the Life 360 app makes it unlikely she has been cheating. She is also a very bad liar, which is probably why she confessed to me about the cheating. She does believe that since the cheating happened a long time ago, I shouldn't be so affected by it all of this time. But like I stated above, the fact that I felt her story didn't add up is what is killing me. Since I know that she is a bad liar, I believe she is telling the truth. I believe someone mentioned a polygraph. I believe that might be the best route. She seems okay with this, so I'll make it my next step. If she fails, I told her that I will leave her and will tell her parents the truth. If she passes, I will drop the issue completely. I will update the results once we complete the polygraph.
OP, you damn donut. She cheated on you, used you for a green card, gave you chlamydia, and you still married the bitch.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
You should have told her father the very moment you found out about the affair. You had an out and you didn't take it, you dummy. Now you have a house and she has settled in with you. Look man, before doing anything else, go consult a lawyer about your options. If they are favorable, then go ahead and take it. Prioritizing on zero alimony since income, I assume, is practically the same between the two of you, but you need to ask about how the house and assets can be split up, as well as the 401k. Look up the laws in your country. I don't know. I'm not from the US. Even if it takes a one-time buyout, you should definitely consider it heavily. Weigh your options and choose an out. And for the love of Jesus Christ, do not get her pregnant. Good luck. And now for today's second story. I live with my ex. I wanted him bad so badly until he did this, and now I'm trapped. Posted by Reddit user Drippy Cupcake.
I was with my ex for 4 years. He came to my aid after a house fire at my family's home. I lost a lot and it was the most traumatic thing I have experienced up to date. I started to kind of come undone. And it got worse when I noticed he was getting a lot of female attention online. Eventually, I found out that he was cheating online, getting nudes, perusing Tinder, meeting up with girls I didn't know. He lied about it at first. We went through this karmic arc the rest of our relationship. Me tearing into him because I couldn't trust him, and he didn't fully stop the behavior, and him feeling like I was being unreasonable and unkind for too long. Both effectively hurting each other. There was a point in time he even put his hands on me and threw me across the room. Our fights were so bad. This only made my security and safety with him grow worse. I kept trying every day though to show up. Even though we should have been broken up long before. I convinced myself he loved me. I still have pieces of that, but it's a version of some twisted understanding of it. He couldn't make me feel safe though, and I ended up latching onto a guy friend emotionally. It got weird on his behalf, and I told my ex about it at the time. No sex, nothing crazy, he just made a few passes at me. I liked it for a moment, but realized I needed to make distance and cut him off. And so I told him. When I told him, I became the villain. It was as if everything he had put me through was erased in his mind, and all the time I had spent upset about what he had done was now a huge overreaction. I wanted him to understand that I knew it was wrong, but that I haven't ever ended up in that situation without all the fear and paranoia I had. I couldn't stop arguing it. Eventually, he broke up with me because of this, and I felt as though I'd suffered such a deep loss. I told him he could leave me if he wanted, but that I would be here for him in all ways, and that I'd continue to show up for him and show him I can change, because I was so sorry and realized what had gone wrong with me. Unfortunately, that was going to be true physically anyways, as we have 5 months left on our lease. He said he has wanted me to move on, even living with him, and I told him I didn't believe I could. And I couldn't. Every day I would try to reach him again. I'd come into his room, light up a bowl with him, and just try to learn him as a friend all over again. Start fresh, but keep my distance. Eventually, we started getting closer again, and he would throw up "I love you" symbols and say our little phrase we made up for loving each other beyond ourselves. He would constantly tell me I'm all that he thinks of end goal. He doesn't want anything serious, or to sleep with anyone else. He was constantly checking in to see if I was seeing anyone, and I wasn't, nothing to hide, and I would periodically ask him, and we would shoot the shit about maybe seeing each other again. But in the distant future, he would flirt with me, comment on my body. I started feeling good. I was waiting for him, and I would have kept waiting forever. He was my best friend beyond the mess we made. But last night, things seemed to be going well. I decided to take out the pile of trash we had accumulated, was listening to some music, and needed the key to the dumpster which was in his bag in the car. He carries this thing with him everywhere. I told him I would go get it, and he asked nervously that I just grab his whole bag instead. I got a bad feeling and decided to jump on it, and I looked all through the bag and found a lone condom next to a pink vape. I asked him about both, and he said the condom was from me. He found it on the floor and got suspicious I was up to something and he just shoved it in his bag. Said the vape was his guy friend's. It came out later in the night he was receiving nudes from this girl he claimed long ago used to stalk him. He said he was just laughing at her content at first, but then said he did compliment her on her ass. My whole world is shattered. He tries to frame it like he had to sit around while I messed around with some guy, so I should have to know what it feels like to do that now because he did it for me. I actually threw up the remainder of the night because of this. I wanted only him, even after he was gone. And it wasn't the same. I guess you could say he was single and could have done whatever he wanted. But he gave me so much hope with what he said. Now I'm stuck tied to him for 5 more months because of our lease, and I have no friends or family to turn to. I am so lost. I'm tormented imagining the messages with that girl. I'm tormented not knowing what his real plans were with that condom or whose vape that really was, or what he's really up to when he's gone.
OP, do you even use your brain? You don't buy a condom for nudes. He's sleeping around. Leave his toxic ass. You convince yourself of a lot of things that he didn't hurt you, when in fact it did, and you fucking know it. I also see a pattern where you fall head over heels over those mini cutesy gestures that means absolutely nothing. It only means that you put him in a pedestal and you're a fan of his bullshit. All of your actions is based on what he said. Stop doing that. That's stupid. You're being stupid. Stop being stupid. Leave this toxic shit show and go to therapy. I truly wish you well, OP. I hope you find happiness someday. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.